this video is going to break down your basic form 1. So we're going to go over your hand techniques, some of the different kicks that you guys have, your stances, and then we'll put it together in a way that you guys can practice and really increase your skill level. But hand technique, you only have 5 different hand techniques in this form that you really need to know. First one is going to be your downward block. You have an aim and a punch. Then you're going to have your pseudo, and then you're also going to have a vertical outward block. So we'll start off with the downward block. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to take my left hand, I'm going to chamber this up on my shoulder, and I rotate this fist so that that pinky side of my hand is touching my shoulder here. I'm going to extend my right arm, bringing my elbows together just like this. I want this nice and tight, and I want my hands rotated in this position. That way, as I do my downward block, my hand will come down, it will snap into position, and this bottom hand will also snap. It'll rotate right up to my side. So I can do it again 3 times on each side. So I go left hand on top, right hand down. 1, 2, 3. Now opposite side, my right hand is going to come on my shoulder. My left hand is going to extend down, and same thing. Top hand is going to downward block. Bottom hand is going to chamber to my side. So I'm going to go here. 1, 2, 3. Now from this position, we do what's called an aim. All it is kind of like just like when you were holding a bow and arrow. You aim at your target before you release your arrow. So I'm going to take my downward block from here. I'm going to just raise it up, and I'm aiming right to the center of my chest. So if I face sideways like this, my arm should be flat, and it should be right in front of the center of my chest, kind of right here where my collarbone comes together. So I would do that chambered downward block. I would aim right to the center of my collarbone right there. Okay. Now the other move you have is just a punch. I'm going to just switch my 2 hands from place to place. I'm just going to go here and punch. And this goes to the exact same place that I aimed, right to the center of my collarbone. So we'll put those 3 hand techniques together. So I go chamber, downward block, aim, punch. If I'm doing the right side now, I go chamber, downward block, aim, and punch, just like that. And as I'm throwing it, my goal is to try to control my shoulders. So my shoulders are not rotating or extending right now. I'm controlling my body, just focusing on the extension and the snap of my hand strike. All right, the next 2 hand techniques that you guys are going to have are going to be your pseudo and your vertical outward block. These are actually both outward blocks. A pseudo is an open-handed outward block, and a vertical outward block is a close-handed outward block where I rotate my fist in the opposite direction. Okay, so starting off with our pseudo, I'm going to take my left hand, I'm going to rotate this palm to face toward my ear, and my right hand is going to go all the way underneath into my armpit here, and I want to squeeze my arms as tight together as I can. Now my elbows should be shoulder height in this chamber position. And again, from here, as my top hand would extend out for that pseudo, it's going to snap into that outward block. And my bottom hand, same exact thing, it's going to snap and rotate right to the center of my chest. As I'm looking out over my pseudo, my front hand, I want to be looking right over that fingertip. So make sure that the height of that pseudo is eye level. So watch again, left hand comes on top, right hand comes underneath, and I pseudo. Okay, I'm going to do 3 more. So I go chamber, pseudo, chamber, pseudo, chamber, pseudo. Now same thing for the right side. I'm going to take my right hand, place my right hand up next to my ear, take my left hand, place this under my arm so my elbows are touching, and then I'm going to pseudo. Do it again, pseudo. 1 more, pseudo. Now, a pseudo and a vertical outward block are both outward blocks, but the chamber is going to be different for them. On a pseudo, my top hand is the one that extends, whereas when I do my vertical outward block, this block is going to start from under. So I'm going to rotate this fist facing down to the floor with my palm. My other hand is going to come on top, and I'm going to rotate this one. Palm faces away from me. Then from here, I'm going to take my bottom hand. It's going to come out and rotate, snapping into that strike, and my top hand will then come to my side for that vertical outward block. So I'm here again, I have left hand on top, right hand under, vertical block out. The height of my fist is the same as my pseudo. I should be looking right over that fist. So I do it again, left on top, right hand under, vertical outward block. Opposite side, same thing. This time, my right hand's gonna come on top, and my left hand is gonna come under with my palm facing down. Then I'm gonna take that left hand, vertical block out. Again, right hand on top, left hand under, vertical block out. So those are the hand techniques that you need to work on for basic form 1. Alright, so throughout your basic form 1, you guys are going to have 2 different stances, your back stance and your front stance, okay? So making sure that you nail these throughout your form really shows the power of your form. So first thing we're going to go into is your front stance. So my feet are going to be apart a little bit wider than my shoulders. I'm going to take my left foot from here and I'm going to step it straight in front of that foot. And as I do this, all of my toes remain facing forward. I have this front knee and I'm going to bend it just enough to where I cannot see those front toes. So this is going to be my front stance. Again, my hips are forward, my shoulders are forward, all of my toes are forward, my knees are pointing forward. This is that front stance. Everything faces forward. I'm going to chamber my hands right to my side, just like this for my front stance. Okay? So watch one more time. I'm going to do right foot this time. So I'm going to take my right foot, step that right foot forward, again, straight in front. I'm going to keep all of my toes forward. I'm going to bend this right knee to where I cannot see those toes. Chamber my hands to my side. And again, everything faces forward for your front stance. All right, your second stance is going to be a back stance. Now, as I do a back stance, I'm going to start in an L position with my feet. So I have my back foot sideways, I have my front foot forward, and from here, I'm going to step in the direction that I'm going to be moving, and I'm going to be bending both knees in my back stance. Just like a horse stance would, but I have different directions with my toes. So here's my back stance. I'm going to do one forward now. So I'm starting with my L position here. I'm going to step my left foot forward into that back stance. I'm going to sink nice and low, bending both knees. As you can see, my ankle, my knee, my hip, and my shoulder, they are all in a nice straight line. So watch things like hip pushing out, knee coming in. You want your back stance just like this. Okay, I'll do the same thing on the right side now. So my right foot would be in front, my left foot would be facing side. I would bend both knees nice and low, keeping this foot forward, ankle, knee, hip, shoulder all in a straight line, and sinking super low. This is your back stance. So make sure you get that front stance and that back stance down. All right, taking your stances that we just worked on and your hand techniques we worked on previous to that, we're going to do some stance drills, okay? So the first stance drill we're gonna work on is just front stance downward blocks. So I'm gonna start feet apart like this. I'm gonna take my left hand, bring that on top, and every time I do my downward block, I'm gonna step with that same side into a front stance. So I'm gonna go here, front stance downward block. Now I'm gonna switch. So I'm gonna bring my right hand on top. I'm gonna step my right foot this time, downward block with the right hand. I'm gonna do a few more. 2 more. 1 more. Just like that. So next one we're gonna do front stance punches. Same stance, but instead of a downward block, we're just gonna throw a punch this time. So I'm gonna start feet apart again. Hands are chambered. I'm gonna start left foot first. So I'm gonna step my left foot, punch my left hand. Again, focus on the center of the chest with this punch. Boom. Awesome. 2 more stance drills. We're gonna do back stance pseudos. Now we're gonna do this with a shuffle instead of a step forward. That way you don't have to worry about crossing your hands differently. So I'm gonna start left foot in front, L position my feet, crossing my left hand on top. I'm gonna step forward, pseudo. Shuffle chamber, pseudo. Shuffle chamber, pseudo. Scooting back. Now I'm gonna do right foot forward. So right foot into my L position, right hand on top, pseudo. Shuffle chamber, pseudo. Shuffle chamber, pseudo. Last one is going to be your vertical outward block. We're gonna do it the exact same way. We're gonna do a shuffle chamber. So I'm gonna start left foot forward. This time, my left hand is gonna come under, right hand on top. I'm gonna step, boom, vertical outward block. Shuffle chamber, boom, vertical outward block. Shuffle chamber, vertical outward block. All right, right side this time. Right foot faces forward, right hand's coming under, left hand on top. Boom. Vertical outward block, shuffle chamber. Vertical outward block, shuffle chamber. Vertical outward block. Practice those 4 stance drills. All right, now with your basic form 1, you do have the 3 basic kicks that we work on. So your front kick, your round kick, and your side kick. And we're gonna do slight variations to these, but they still have the same exact technique. The chamber, the kick, the re-chamber, and then obviously setting your foot down. So the first one of these 3 is gonna be a skip up front kick, okay? I'll demonstrate one real quick. So it's here, just like that. Now broken down, we can start it in 3 counts. I'm gonna take my back foot, I'm gonna lift that knee up, just like a front kick would. I'm aiming forward. From here, I'm going to bend, jump, switch legs, and then take that left leg here, and front kick, and set it into my fighting stance. So again, in 3 counts, it goes knee up, jump switch, and front kick. Now making it 2 counts this time. I'm gonna go knee up, and as I jump switch, I'm going to kick at the same time. So I jump switch, and throw my kick. So now the goal on this is not to jump super high, but to travel forward a little bit. So when I'm here, I just go just like that. I'm gonna do it sideways so you guys can see. Again, back knee comes up first, kicking with that front leg. So it's here, just like that for your skip up front kick. Second kick is your back leg roundhouse kick. Very important when you guys are doing this, you pivot, rotate that front foot, and get those shoulders all the way sideways. And as we throw that kick, we want to throw it in front and set the kick down in front of us. So I'm going to take that back leg roundhouse and set it all the way in front, just like that from my back leg roundhouse. The third kick you guys have is your crossing side kick. As you do this one, this front foot, it's not going to step to the side. It's not going to step straight forward. I'm actually going to step it slightly diagonal forward. So I step slightly diagonal, I take my back leg, and I'm gonna shuffle this up behind with my toes facing backwards. This sets my body up in the right position to where as I take that right leg, I get a nice chamber, I side kick it out, and then I can land that foot in front. So crossing side, I'm just gonna go 3 counts again. 1, 2, 3, just like that. All right, now after you've practiced those 3 kicks and you've gotten them down, you need to be able to put them together in combination and transition between the kicks to make the kick combo a little bit smoother. So after we throw the skip up front kick, we're going to land right into our twist for that back leg round. And then after we do that back leg round, instead of landing straight in front, we're gonna land slightly to the side so you can go straight into that crossing side kick. So I'll do it 1 time in slow motion. So I go skip up front, and I'm going to land right in my twist. I take this back leg, I go round, and I set it slightly to the side, and then I go into my crossing side kick. So at full speed, your combo is going to look like this. Just like that. Work on that combo, guys.